I'm going to talk about something that I think can revolutionize this company, that can take it to Worldventures 2.0. Guys, how many of you guys were around when we had something as part of our DreamTrip product that we would promote every day called the $69 cruise? Does anybody remember that? Now, we had a lot of membership sales that were derived from the fact that we would promote the $69 cruise because it had sizzle effect, right? Because it was kind of sexy. Because people were like, wow, $69 cruises. And, people would even use that to get people to come see it. Am I right or am I right? And what we found with that was that it was a terrific idea, but there were some kind of unexpected consequences from trying to use the $69 cruise as one of the carrots. And that is, there was a severe limitation on how many cruises we could offer. And we're here at our international convention where we've got people who are showing up from different countries. So to offer a $69 cruise is not a strategic, scalable thing to drive product sales. If you get it, say I get it. And so the other problem with the $69 cruise was that it was a $69 cruise, but some people felt like the pricing was a little bit misleading. And we want to be a brand that is synonymous with trust. We want to be the most trusted brand in the industry. And what you'd find is that apples to apples, our cruise was $69, where if you went and booked it on your own, it was $300 or $400. But the problem was there were ports, fees, and taxes that we didn't control that would cause the cruise to ultimately cost you about $230 or $240 a person. Does that make sense? And so what we decided to do is figure out a way that we could come up with something that was just as sexy, had just as much sizzle, but that was scalable. Something that was not misleading in any way. Something that we could do around the globe and that we could build into our offering that would never have to go out of style. And something that when you see the price, what you see is what you get. Would that sound good to you guys? And so if you guys can bring up my slide, this is exactly what we've come up with. It's a concept called Welcome DreamTrips. Now, yes, you guys are fired up. That's awesome. So here's the way a welcome dream trip. Let's just talk about what is a welcome dream trip. Now let me ask you a question. How many of you guys have been on a dream trip before? Okay. Would you agree that it is difficult to communicate to your friends and family exactly what a dream trip is like? Do you agree that it's difficult to try to convey to them in words the magic, the experience, the community that happens on a dream trip? They don't understand it. Am I right about that? And you may have also heard that if we get someone on a dream trip, our retention goes way, way up. Yes. For those of you who are brand new and not familiar with the way we get compensated, we are paid for people keeping their memberships. And so if we can drive retention, if we can get people on a dream trip faster, if we have a way to communicate to them much more easily the magic that comes with a dream trip, it's going to make everybody in this room and everybody in this room's team a lot more money. And that is the idea behind a welcome dream trip. So let's just talk about the ingredients in a welcome dream trip. So first of all, these are not ordinary dream trips. They're going to be 4 days, 3 nights, and they are extremely cost effective. They're going to be $189 for the brand new person. So if you're in your first 90 days, you can book a new member dream trip or a welcome dream trip for $189. But I'm going to talk about this in more detail in a moment. You're also going to be able to book the dream trip if you're not in your first 90 days so that you can go with your new person on the dream trip. It'll be $269 a person for someone beyond their first 90 days. You can apply 50 Dream Trips points to your booking. So it's not $189 for that first booking. It's only going to be $139 because they're going to be able to immediately apply the points that they have waiting in their Dream Trip reward account. We're going to try to make these drivable. Within a reachable distance from almost every market in the country so that we take away airfare costs and make it much more easy for the average person to get on the trip. So the markets that we're launching these in are in Las Vegas, Orlando, New York, San Francisco, New Orleans, and Denver. And we are in the process of scoping additional worldwide locations as we speak. Now, I know we have people in the audience who are not from the United States. I want you to know that we're working on Welcome DreamTrips for every one of our markets. Right now, it's just the United States, but it'll be other markets as we go. Now, here's another cool component. The leaders of the company are going to be going on these Welcome DreamTrips. So here's just a couple of examples. We've got Wes going to New York in June. Byron's going to New Orleans in August. My wife Sheila and I are going to Orlando and New York in September and October. Lorenzo Roybal will be in December in Denver. And we've got a lot more leaders that are getting booked as we speak on these dream trips. So when you go to the Dream Trip or the Welcome Dream Trips section of your DreamTrips.com website, you'll be able to see all the details of what leaders are going on these trips. And the cool part is this. You're going to get your new member on the dream trip. They're going to be experiencing all the magic of the dream trip experience, but they're also going to get to connect with the leaders. I mean, what would it be like for your brand new person to get to spend 4 days with Byron Schrag? Do you think their belief system would be higher? What would it be like to have your brand new person spend 4 days with Lorenzo Roybal? Would their belief go higher? And here's the cool part. All of the leaders are going to be giving an optional training as a part of the Welcome Dream Trips. So your new member is going to be able to go to, it might be just 90 minutes, 2 hours, something that's quick, something that's super hot, where people like Byron and Wes and Lorenzo and, Jeff and Troy and Bethany are going to give a quick training to your new members on how to take advantage of what they've just joined. So we're going to immerse people in the magic of Worldventures culture very, very quickly. They're getting the dream trip experience. They're also going to get to experience some of our training, and they're going to get to surround themselves with powerful stories. Now, you got to know that every one of these dream trips is going to be very, very special. We want these things to knock people's socks off. So I'm going to give you some examples of trips in a minute, but every trip that they go on, they're going to get some dream trip swag. So, for instance, we're getting a backpack designed that they're going to get when they go on their dream trip that's got, Dream Trips logo on the backpack. We're going to have little gifts, little perks, just to make that little extra, add that little extra punch or oomph to the experience. And like I said, special perks and surprises on every trip. When you look at the Dream Trips details for these new member trips, you will see some details listed, but there will be things that we're planning. It might be a special excursion. It might be just a surprise that we can't really describe, but we want it to be a surprise. And every time you do one of these Welcome Dream Trips, that surprise component will be there to take it to another level for your brand new member. Trust me, when you get your new members on these Welcome Dream Trips, it's going to be lights out, baby. They're going to be coming home fired up, ready to share the Dream Trips experience with all their friends and all their family members. All right, so let's look at some trips. Here's an example. This is in New York. This trip is blow your mind good. Remember, we're talking $189. You're going to stay at the La Parker Meridian. This hotel is a boutique hotel. It is gorgeous. It is ridiculous. The rooms per night cost way more than to go on the whole trip. You're going to get penthouse pool. We're going to give you tickets to Jersey Boys, the Tony Award-winning Broadway musical on Broadway. We're going to give you tickets to the Met, which is the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is one of the most important museums in the world to go see. It's an iconic experience. And again, we're going to throw in a lot of special perks along with it. Your transportation to and from the airport, all of that included for $189. Here's San Francisco. Again, amazing value, $189. You're going to stay at a ridiculous hotel called the Park 55, which is a very, very chic boutique hotel. It's right in the heart of San Francisco. We're going to have an amazing half day of vineyard tours out in wine country in Napa Valley. we actually, depending on the trip, it's either going to be 2 or 3 different vineyards that you get to tour as a part of this trip. The transportation to and from your hotel to those vineyards, again, to and from the airport to your hotel, and again, some special perks. Try to price this trip, guys. We're 50 to 60% off the best online price without the surprises, without the host, without all the perks. Yeah, Orlando, most popular vacation destination on planet Earth. We're going to be at the Gaylord, which is a ridiculous hotel. The Gaylord has a water park inside the Gaylord that is worth buying a ticket to. If you just go there to the water park, you got to have a ticket. We're going to throw that ticket in as a part of your stay at the Gaylord. You're going to pick your ticket to your favorite Disney park. That could be Magic Kingdom, Epcot, MGM, Animal Kingdom, and then, of course, complimentary transportation that's going to get you all around from your hotel, from the Gaylord to any of the parks that you want to go to. Again, extra perks and surprises included. New Orleans, you're going to stay at the New Orleans Marriott right in the French Quarter. We're going to have a steamboat harbor cruise, and you get to watch Byron in his natural habitat of the French Quarter, New Orleans, Louisiana. So that's worth the price of admission right there. So, who can book a dream? So, do these look like they're awesome value? Drive to these trips, experience them. Now, who can book it? Like I said, anybody can book it. And in a minute, we're going to talk about how to use these new member dream trips to drive your business, to create new revenue for you and for the company. And so a new member can book it within their first 90 days for $189. Beyond that, you can book it for just $269. And at either price point, it's a value. Even at the $269 price, these trips are ridiculous for what they're giving you for the money. For the $189, it's just shut up good, okay? And here's the other cool part, referring back to the $69 cruise. See, $189 might sound like it's more than $69, but it's actually less than what it would have cost them to go on the $69 cruises because of the ports fees and taxes. Instead of $240, it's now $189. We're reducing the price by about $50, but the cool part is we're giving way more value and a higher level experience than we've ever given before, and we can do this all over the world. So, how do you book one of these new member dream trips? Very, very easy to do. All you do is go to DreamTrips.com, which looks like this. You go to DreamTrips.com, and in the search box right there, even though it says city or state or whatever, don't worry about that. Just type the word welcome into that box, and then hit search. When you type the word welcome, it's going to take you straight to just the new member dream trips. Nothing more, nothing less. And you can scroll through there and book those very, very simply. Now, how do we take this product or this addition to our product and make money? Who's here to learn how to become totally financially free? Anybody here to do that? Well, Troy Brown has a very powerful talk, if you ever get a chance to be around him, where he just talks about the power of our residual and our opportunity in terms of how it creates consistent growth in your residual check versus every other opportunity in the world. And I believe that the Welcome Dream Trips is going to drive our residual checks through the roof, which is exactly how we can make sure that we are able to call our boss with a significant eye problem. I don't know if you know that, but what happened for me is I was in the software business and I was, working on this part-time, and I reached the point where my residual was paying all my bills, and I called my boss and I said, listen, I can't come in today because I just have a terrible eye problem. And the boss is like, wow, is it like seeping or is it kind of swollen or what's going on? I said, well, it's just that I could never see myself working for you again, and so gonna have to dial it back a little bit. So who would like that kind of eye problem? Anybody wish they? Okay. Here's how we're gonna do that. The first thing is this. you're going to start talking about these new member dream trips in your presentation. And you need to know that the latest Vacation Sooner video is live right now and talks about these trips. If you go to vacationsooner.com, this is what it looks like. You will notice there's a lot of blue buttons there. Please do not be alarmed or confused. You want to push this one right here. So you're going to talk about these new member trips. You're going to talk about how easy it is for someone to get on a trip. Guys, when you join tonight, you're going to be able to go to one of these iconic destinations like Orlando or San Francisco or Vegas or New Orleans or New York for just $189. And the 50 points that are in your reward account tonight, you can apply to that iconic destination of your choice. Next, you're going to make booking a welcome dream trip part of your system. Now, if you've heard me train at all, you know that I'm big on this word system. Systems are what never sleep. It's very, very important that you have a consistent system that is used by every person on your team. And what you want to start doing is making it a component of your system. I don't know if it's step 2 or 3 or 5. It really doesn't matter. But in the very early stages of a brand new person joining your team, booking their welcome dream trip needs to be a part of that system. And the reason you want to make it a part of the system is several things. Number one, you're going to gain retention. The sooner you get them on the welcome dream trip, the sooner they're experiencing the magic, the sooner they're experiencing the camaraderie, the community, all of the special touch points, and they're going to stick around. But here's the bigger picture. See, the reason I love our business, Raymond alluded to this, the reason I love what we do is that if I'm going to build a network marketing business, I'm going to win at whatever it is. I know this room, y'all are the winners because you came here this weekend. You're the leaders. I mean, you could join the weird bug juice deal or the crazy saran wrap and fat drops off your body deal or... Lord have mercy. How weird is that? Hey, sir, you look like you could use some saran wrap wrapped around your gut right now. Come to my meeting. Anyway, we could join any of those things, yes? And because we're the leaders, because we're the room full of winners, we would have won at whatever. But here's the where the rubber meets the road. Where the rubber meets the road is, could 10,000 people win at the idea on your behalf? And see, people can't talk about saran wrap or bug juice, but they can talk about dream vacations, can't they? And see, I love that idea, but here we already said, it's a little bit difficult to communicate to somebody why a dream trip is different than a vacation. How many of you guys have experienced somebody who was negative on traveling with other people? Like, do you mean I've got to be with a bunch of people? Well, I hate to break it to you, sir, but when you go to the airport, don't be shocked. Other people will be there. I don't want to blow your mind with that right now. But some people construe that as a negative until they get on a dream trip and they see what Raymond talked about, where you got people to go deep sea fishing with you or go golfing with you or the ladies to go shopping in town with. You feel safe. You have the parties to go to. You have all of that camaraderie. It's hard for them to grasp that until they've done it. Well, if you get your brand new person on a new member dream trip fast, they're going to grasp it fast, and they're going to stick around and start telling the story to their friends and family. The other thing is that it's going to turn into social media fodder. We've got a training coming up this weekend that's going to talk to you about how to set your business on fire using social media. Well, think about every member of your team with "you should be here" pictures from a legitimate dream trip that's blow your mind good going up on their Facebook pages and their Instagram pages day after day, week after week. When you get these people on these new member dream trips quickly, that's what's going to happen. Next, you can turn the dream trip into the invite. What does that mean? Well, here's the way it works. I joined tonight. I'm taking my kids to Orlando. It's something we've always wanted to do. I've been promising my kids we go to Disney World for a long time. Anybody ever made a promise like that to your kids? And so I joined. I'm like, are you kidding me? $189, we can go to Disney World? I'm going to book it. Then I call my brother. Hey, bro, dude, the family and we're going to Disney World in September. What? How did you afford that all of a sudden? man, I just saw the craziest thing. You won't believe it. I'm paying $189. See, now, the Welcome Dream Trip, because it's so compelling, you call your buddies up. You're like, hey, dude, we're all going to Vegas. Man, I can't afford to go to Vegas. I'm too busy right now. No, dude, listen, it's $189. We're going to this sick hotel. They're throwing in a show. They're going to give us some VIP access to a club. It's going to be unbelievable. $189, what is that, a night? No. Dude, that's the trip. And so the Welcome Dream Trip can become the invite. How simple and duplicatable is that to have happen on your team? And last but not least, you can use the Welcome Dream Trips to drive platinum upgrades. Now, why would this work? Well, see, the platinum members, first of all, can use 60 points on their reward dream trip, not 50. But secondly, and this is the big one, the platinum members are going to get special perks and a special excursion on every one of these dream trips that the regular member will not get. And so what you can do is, when somebody books the reward trip or they join and they're about to book the reward trip, you can say to that person, you got to upgrade to platinum, man. You want the platinum experience on that reward trip. It's still only a $189 trip. You apply 60 points now. Now it's $129 for you to go. And they're going to give you an extra excursion when you get there for your $129. Now you're going to drive platinum upgrades. And as you guys know, platinum upgrades mean that your residual goes up significantly. But the other deal is that the more platinum members you got, the faster you hit ranks. Hey, it's only Friday. I mean, y'all have a good 12 hours to get really warmed up and ready to go for tomorrow morning. So, guys, with that said, who's fired up about Welcome Dream Trips? Get into your DreamTrips.com website, book a welcome trip now, book a welcome trip this weekend so that you can go tell your members, come with me on this Welcome Dream Trip. You'll start driving a lot of revenue.